Ladies, we have got to start supporting each other. Mothers, daughters, women, teachers, friends, non-friends, enemies. When are we going to look around and see what's going on and say, I don't know what I've heard, but I see something far different than what appears to be on the surface. That there's this, there's also all of this. And I will follow this with a little bit of a story. But first I just want to say it's hard enough to be a woman in our society, to have children, to now like 49% of mothers are single moms. It's almost like the norm. And instead of bringing each other down, it's time we help support each other. Or said, hey, I don't think you want to do that, but like if you do this, that'll really help you out. Not, oh, you did this, such a bad woman. Oh my God. Honey, your bra is showing. Oh, that's so tacky. I mean, all my friends criticize their daughters. One daughter's hair is too blonde, the other one's too heavy, the other one hasn't found a husband yet. I mean, that's just what we do. Like, this is like what is this subscription that people have subscribed to? And this is actually a real example in my life from someone who is incredibly wise, incredibly knowledgeable, and incredibly spiritual, and sometimes can just see anything. But then it's like that half the time, you know, and how are we as women supposed to help the next generation and help our world become a better place if we are clashing between each other? And now there's like this clash of sexes. It's just, it blows my mind. I don't understand it at all. So it is August 5th, 2018. I have seen my son 10 times since January 16th, 2018. This is because I'm under supervised visitation, and the cost is exorbitant. It's more than my monthly income to see my child less than 24 hours a month. Take that back, it's like 42 because I have two 10-hour days, 8-hour days, 2 8-hour days. The rest of the weeks it's 2 days a week for 3 hours. That's it, no overnights, no weekend, nothing. And I agreed to this. I have not been caught to be a criminal or negligent to my child. I have done nothing wrong. You can look through all the court transcripts, all the evidence, nothing showed that I endangered my child or I did any harm. Yet they write, it is found that, his lawyer writes, it is found I've been a danger to my child. For what? Because I took him out of town for 2 weeks 2 years ago? But that's to preempt the story of the supervision. It's almost like it's not even reality. It's so wild. And this plays exactly into, these women are teachers, you know, they're supposed to be therapists, or they're just people needing a job half the time. And they subscribe into this mindset because they don't know anything about the legal system, and almost makes it someone who just does it short term or here and there, or stay-at-home mom who's a teacher and getting a summer job. First thing she says, well, I'm not here to judge. When someone says, I'm not here to judge, that is exactly what they're doing. It's like when someone says, oh, you can trust me, I want to do everything right. I want to help you get off this supervision. The only person that was ever kind to me never said anything like that. Someone says over and over to reassure you that you can trust them, you might be like, bing, 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 bing. Little light bulb. And I was scared to do it because before, the supervisor Basically, if they say I broke their rules, I go to jail. This is the court order I'm under. If they say that I broke the rules, then I go 9 more months under professional supervision. It has been 2 years, and I can't get off. I'm like my third 9-month period, second 9-month period. Because it just starts over. Clock starts over, clock starts over, clock starts over. And I just don't understand it. Someone can be watching me interact with my child, and just their positive energy and the love between us and the affection and the sensitivity and the care and the play. I'm not just sitting and watching him, I am playing with him. We are playing, an animal farm where we have swum to a big island with lots of coconut trees, and who comes up on the boat? But a boat of owls, except for one little boy is on the boat too. And they've got all these beautiful mangoes. And my son, let's get them, Superman, Batman, kill them. I say, no, my darling. First, before we try to kill them, let's find out what they're doing. Let's ask them, hello, would you like to be friends? We have coconuts. We see that you have mangoes. Would you be willing to share your mangoes with us? After that, we have mango juice, we have mango parties. We're like making mango and sharing it with everyone. We're putting it in through the rocket ship, a symbol of violence, and instead we're turning it into a symbol of nurturing love and affection. If you see this happening, if you see a woman caressing her child, brushing his matted curls that haven't been brushed for weeks, kissing him and hugging him, stroking his sweet little arm as she reads a book, and he is totally rapt as she reads millions of cats and billions of cats and trillions and trillions and trillions of cats. But there was one cat, and he sits there, only 3 years old, rapt, totally engaged, silent, as mother reads. And the old lady and the old man said, well, you are the most beautiful cat of all. If you're observing this, and the child proceeds to say, Mommy, how come your car seat's not in your car? How come we're not going anywhere? And he asks you, won't we go somewhere? Can't you take me somewhere? And every time Mommy has to say, no, my darling. Well, my darling, I took the car seat out because I haven't seen you in a long time. And I needed the space for work. And he's very troubled by this. Oh, but mother, like Mom, Mommy, Mama. Calls me Mama. Pardon me. And he begins his 3-year-old questioning over and over and over. Well, will I drive with you again? Can we go somewhere now? Am I going to ride in your car seat? How will I drive with you if you have no seat for me? And he's leaving out some prepositions here and there, but it's pretty clearly said. And he keeps keeping this line of questioning, like, where are you? Where have you been? What's happening? And finally, Mommy says, not wanting to say, I really wanted to, but I couldn't. Psh, that's a load of crock. I mean, come on. That's what I'm told to tell my child? That's like when your dad says, no, you can't go to your best friend Emily's house because I said so. He should really say, I worked a 60-hour work week and I'm really tired and I'm not going to drive you, and one day when you're an adult you understand that I need some downtime and I need to relax and rest in my office and play the piano for several hours instead of driving you across town in traffic because I'm a middle to older man and that's too much for me. I can't do that. Why can't we tell our children these things? Why can't we tell them the truth? Why is it, oh, I couldn't because I said so? Go ask your mother. This basically invalidates the child. It invalidates their question, and it tells them that the parent would prefer to lie to them than to be honest. So I say, well, my darling, the government won't let me. Oh, but why not? Well, because sometimes there's rules that you have to follow, and if you don't follow them, you'll get in trouble. He seemed satisfied with that answer. Nevertheless, the supervisor was not. And you know, I don't get it, because I thought, well, it was just one bad seed, right? So I tried another one. I mean, these people, like the next one was like the worst. The worst. The person that came wasn't bad, but the lady who ran it always canceling my visits, making stuff up, say I didn't pay on time. You're like, I'm gonna pay. Like, I'm sorry, it was 29 minutes past your cutoff date that I just now found out about. Thank you very much. After the fact. It's always after the fact that you break the rules. After the fact. It was pages and pages and pages of rules. I was like, you know, you go in there and my energy is not the best. I'll be the first to admit it the first time at the intake. You know, my demeanor is not as pleasant and charming, but that's who I am. I am honest and I'm real, and I'm not there like about to be like, oh, hi, I know you're gonna abuse me and probably make stuff up about me and help keep me away from my child, but hello, how are you today? Maybe if I did, this wouldn't happen. I think sometimes, though, we do the best we can. If that is not your natural personality to cover up who you are, that's gonna come across as very fake. It's contrived. If someone acted that way to me, and they weren't used to covering up themselves and acting in this fake, charming manner, and if they were just most of the time naturally charming, and then all of a sudden they were feeling upset and they tried to act differently, it would seem strange. Regardless of that, regardless of my demeanor, I'm not obligated to show up and be these people's best friends. I'm not obligated to be charming to them. I'm obligated to come and be polite and fill out the stuff and tell them what's going on and be straightforward and do my visits with my son and do my best and move forward. Apparently that's not good enough. The very second visit I come in, and it's highly inappropriate because these are emotionally charged situations, and my time with my child and whether I go into jail or not is highly dependent upon what the supervisor says. Needless to say, this causes a great deal of stress and anxiety in my physiology. Usually my heart rate is raised. I usually am having trouble thinking. I usually don't eat the entire day beforehand. I usually have taken some sort of like herbal sedative, some kava or something like that to like try to like mitigate the effects. You know, done some meditation or tried to work out. I'm always rushing because to drive far, or you know, it's right directly after work. So when a person, and also because when a person experiences previous stress around a situation, their limbic system gets overactivated, and the limbic system, because it's a lower level of functioning, it's separate from the prefrontal cortex. It's like you turn into an animal or reptile. So even though I might be doing relatively well, if something goes off, it basically fires up my limbic system, which completely overrides the prefrontal cortex. You physically lose the inability to reason and be completely appropriate, because the prefrontal cortex is like the stop, where you're like, someone says like, do I look really fat in this? And your friend, I mean, she's like a size 6, but she used to be a size 2, but she's had 2 children, and she